We're going to start in child's pose. So child's pose is a yoga posture. We're going to add the ball to it today. I'm going to move my hand weights out of the way for now. So with child's pose, your big toes are touching. Your knees are wide. I like to bring mine about mat width apart. Hips are back towards your heels. On an exhale, roll forward with the ball so your palms are on top of the ball. Sometimes I like to do child's pose this way because as you can feel, when you let your chest fall towards the mat, you get a nice upper back stretch, which is typically not the case if you're not using a stability ball when doing child's pose. Another fun reason to use a ball with child's pose is you can add a little movement. So if you'd like to do that with me, take an inhale to prep, belly button towards your spine, and then exhale, roll the ball toward the left. Hold on an inhale, exhale, roll to the other side. Inhale here, exhale, roll. Belly button stays strong. Inhale, big exhale. One more time through if you'd like. My ball's kind of getting away from me here. If you have to readjust like I just did, no worries. So you're moving on your exhales, holding on your inhales. Come back to center when you're ready. Once you've evened your sides out, you might want to nod your head yes a couple times just to intensify the upper body stretch. Then use your next inhale to roll up. Come to a kneeling position. I have this nice Thrive on Wellness mat, which offers a little extra cushion. But if you are in a hard surface and it hurts to kneel, then just throw a blanket or pillow or towel under your knees so you have a little extra cushion as well. We're going to do an exercise called rollouts. This one's awesome to tone and strengthen your upper body and your core. If you remember like 10 or 15 years ago, the Ab slide, I think it was called, it was like a little piece of workout equipment you could get off an infomercial, and you could slide out and come back. That's essentially what we're doing here, but with the ball. So you're kneeling, make sure you're squeezing your knees together. That's going to fire up your inner thighs. You can tuck your toes under if that helps with a little extra stability, or maybe your feet are cramping up. You can also do this one with your tops of your feet on the ground. Start with the ball relatively close to you. You're going to have your palms facing each other, pinky fingers on the ball. Take an inhale to prep, and then exhale, roll out just a few inches. Hold. On your next exhale, come back. Inhale to prep. Exhale, roll out. Hold. And come back. So the further you go out here, the more challenging this one becomes. So you'll see if you roll all the way out, you're at a much different angle. In that case, you might want to start with the ball a little further away from you. Breathing stays the same though. Inhale to prep. Exhale, roll. Hold. On your next exhale, pull back. Now the big mistake people make with this one is they kind of push their hips back. What you want to do is actually keep your body all in one line. So lead with your hip bones. You're kind of squeezing your glutes. Come out, zip in your belly, shoulders away from your ears, and then use the strength of your upper body and your core to come back. A few more together if possible. Inhale to prep. Exhale, lead with your hip bones, not your chest. Hold, shoulders away from your ears. Exhale back. Last one. Inhale to prep. Squeeze your knees. Exhale, move, roll out. Inhale here. Exhale, come up. Very nice. Bring your belly button to the ball. For this next one, you can keep your knees on the ground, or for a bit more of a challenge, you're going to extend your legs so your knees pop up. The wider your base, meaning the further apart your feet are, the more stability that will have for you. In other words, the closer your feet, the bigger stability challenge or balance challenge. So you decide what you want to do with your knees and your feet and your legs. Once you've made that decision, belly button to your spine. We're going to do some strengthening work here for our upper body. So on your next inhale, pull your arms back. Exhale, up and around. So it's almost like we're doing the butterfly stroke, a swimming stroke. In all reality, I'm not a big swimmer, so I don't really know if this is how you do the butterfly. But kind of, right? We're doing relatively big movements with our arms. This one is awesome because not only are we toning and strengthening our upper body, but we're also working on improving mobility in our shoulder joint. I like to inhale to pull back and then exhale up and around. Inhale back, exhale up and around. So you can see how I kind of fold forward and then come up. So not only are we working our upper body and upper back, but also as we come up like this, our lower back gets involved, strengthening there. You're doing great. Take a break whenever you need it, just by dropping to your knees and hanging heavy. Otherwise, if possible, let's try 5 more. 4, 3, 2, one more time. Nice. And if you aren't already, find that position relaxing, knees down, hanging heavy over the ball. This can be a nice position to find for your back every once in a while. This curved position just helps separate your vertebrae a bit. In other words, it helps take a little pressure off your lower back. We're going to give our upper body a break and do some toning and strengthening for our glutes and hamstrings. So for this next one, roll forward so you're really top heavy. So I'm going to, you'll notice here that I'm like actually bending my elbows and my head is near the ground. My feet are still touching the ground, or my toes, I should say. Squeeze your heels. We're going to start with single leg lifts. So take an inhale to prep. Exhale, lift your left leg straight up, toes are flexed. Inhale down. Exhale, right leg straight up. Keep moving like that, lifting on your exhales. Your goal is to keep everything besides that lifting leg, including the ball, as still as possible. Exhale, lift. One more like this. And then if you're looking for a bigger challenge, we're going to add some pulsing. So with your left leg, lift up. Hold if you can, lengthen up through your heel. And then in this position, pulse. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 10. One more set. $20. Nice job. Same thing on the other side. Inhale to prep. Exhale, long, slow lift with your right leg. Hold and lengthen. And then pulse. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 10. Last set. And 20. Lovely. Drop to your knees. We're going to do another round of rollouts. So squeeze your knees together. Decide if you want your toes tucked under or the tops of your feet on the ground. Find tall posture, zip in your belly. Squeeze your glutes. If you think you want a big challenge rolling further out, then move your ball further away from you. Less of a challenge, you start with your ball closer to you. Take an inhale to prep. Shoulders are down and they stay away from your ears. Exhale, roll out. As you roll out, zip in your belly. Lead with your hip bones, not your chest. You hold on an inhale, pull back on an exhale. Inhale to prep. Exhale, roll out. So with this one, form is everything. If you do it with poor form, you're just really not going to feel it that much. However, if you do it with solid form, squeezing your inner thighs, zipping in your belly, squeezing your glutes, shoulders away from your ears, and then keeping that hinged position, leading with your hip bones, then you're really going to feel this toning and strengthening your inner thighs, your abs, and your entire upper body. Now, if you want an even bigger challenge, you not only can roll out, further, but you can hold for longer. So you feel free to try that with me if you're craving that challenge. You notice here a little wobbling. That's what happens with the ball. The whole purpose of the ball is you have this unstable base, which forces your muscles to have to stabilize instead. So a little wobbling is fine. Your goal is to keep the ball as still as possible when you're holding with this one. But of course, our body has to kind of figure that out. So shaking and wobbling is part of the process. Wherever you're at here, use your next inhale to come back. Belly button to your spine as you come back to your kneeling position. Good job. Knees wide. Roll out, find child's pose for a moment or two. Head is heavy. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose or your mouth. One more breath like that. Excellent. Roll up. Now would be the time to grab hand weights if you're looking for a bigger challenge and you have them. Bring your belly button to the ball as we did before when we were doing that swimming exercise. Hand weights can come here so they're accessible if you want to add the challenge. All these movements that we're going to do next can be done without hand weights though. Just like with the swimming exercise, you can decide to keep your knees grounded, or for a bigger challenge, extend through your heels so your knees pop up. And then you have the decision to make as to how wide your base is. The further apart your feet are, the easier this one will be. The closer your feet are, the more balance and stability challenge it will be. So you decide where you want to place your feet. And then with or without your weights, turn your palms so they're facing back. Elbows are out, perpendicular with your body. Inhale to prep. Exhale, elbows lift. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, lead with your elbows. So we're doing what's called rowing here. These are great exercises to do to tone and strengthen the space between your shoulder blades. This space is chronically weak and chronically aggravated. So it's often what causes a lot of bad posture, headaches, neck and shoulder tension. So the more strength and blood flow we can bring to that space, the space between our shoulder blades, the better our body is going to feel. It's often a place that we forget about. It's a bit neglected. Nice. Last two. Last one. Rest for a moment. Head is heavy, so you can drop to your knees if you'd like. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose or your mouth. And then find your same starting position. Now we're going to do rowing again. This time our elbows are going to come up and scrape our rib cage. So instead of having your palms facing back, now your palms are going to face your midline. Or in other words, your palms are facing each other. So with or without your weights, take an inhale to prep. Exhale, pull up. Elbows lead the way. Inhale down. Exhale up. So your elbows are constantly pulling towards your midline. This version of it not only tones and strengthens your upper back, the space between your shoulder blades, but now you start to feel it more in your triceps, the back of your arms. I gotta drop my weights for a while. Feel free to do that at any point if you need to. Last four. And then I've got a big challenge for you. 3, 2, if you can, hold your elbows up. Final exercise in this series, tricep extensions. So with your elbows lifted and you're pulling towards your midline, inhale the prep, and then exhale, extend your forearms. Inhale and exhale. So your goal with this one is to not allow your upper arms to move. All the movement is in your forearms. Shoulders are pulling towards your hips, not your ears. If your upper arms start to fall, take a break. Eventually, bring them back up and do your best to keep them lifted. You're doing great. 5 more if you can. I'm going to add my weights for these last 5 to challenge myself. You might want to consider doing that as well. 2 and 1. Awesome job. Roll to your knees if you aren't already. Hang heavy over the ball for a sec. Deep inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose or your mouth. We're going to be top heavy again for this next one, frog leg lifts. So remember, that means your head is near the ground. You might be bending your elbows a little bit. And for frog leg lifts, you can either bring your heels together with your knees bent, or for a really big challenge, you're actually going to push the bottoms of your feet together with your knees bent. So as you're squeezing your heels or pushing the bottoms of your feet together, take an inhale to prep. On your exhale, lift your knees up. Good. Inhale down. Exhale up. This one's tricky. You're trying to not move with your lifts. So you're keeping your ball and your upper body as still as possible. Squeeze your heels or the bottoms of your feet. Lift your knees straight up and straight down. The movement, as you can feel, is not very big, but it's super isolated, which you can probably feel as well. So this one's no joke. Do what you can. If possible, 4 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Last 2. One more time here. Very nice. Roll to your knees and find child's pose. Breathe deeply. On your next inhale, roll up. We've got one more round of rollouts to do. So that's the one that's kind of like the ab slide. However, if you'd like to do something a little different, similar but different, but quite a bit more challenging, you can actually do a full plank with your hands on the ball. So I'm going to cue you through that. However, if you're not up for that today, then go back to the rollouts and do that instead. If you are up for the challenge today, or maybe one day someday, you're going to bring the ball to the top of your mat. I always like to place my hands kind of at, what would it be? Maybe like a 10 and 2 o'clock position if the ball was a clock. And they're kind of out like this. So it's almost like my thumbs are pointed forward. Then you're going to tuck your toes under, push up into a plank. Shoulders are over your hands, so if you have to adjust, bring your feet further back or further forward, do that. And this one's a bit wobbly. So you are relying almost solely on this unstable base. So it's going to wobble a little bit as your muscles try to stabilize. If you ever feel unsafe, just drop to your knees and regroup when you're ready, coming back up. Now your shoulders are going to want to creep to your ears. Don't let that happen. Keep your shoulders strong. Belly button zipping. Hang on for 3, 2, rest for a moment. Child's pose. We'll do one more set if you're up for it. Deep breath. Again, if the high plank on the ball is not for you, rollout is a great alternative. So feel free to do that. If you want to do the high plank with me, again, right fingers at about a 10 and 2 o'clock position. Tuck your toes under, push through your heels. Shoulders over your hands. Shoulders are pulling towards your hips. Belly button is pulling up pretty fiercely here, supporting your body in this position. Relax your face. You got this. 10, 9. Yes, you can. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Excellent job. Child's pose, take a well-deserved break. Deep breaths. And we've got one final challenge for our abs and inner thighs before we finish up this workout with a stretch. We're going to do this next one in a seated position. I'm going to move my hand weights out of the way here. This is one of my absolute favorite ab exercises. It looks a little goofy and is a bit awkward at first, but I promise you, if you give yourself a little permission to experiment with it, one day, someday, you're probably going to love it. So, with this one, you bring your feet at about a 9 and 3 o'clock position, squeezing the ball. Hands come behind you. Notice how my fingers are pointing towards the ball. So I'm kind of bending my elbows. You're going to inhale to prep, squeeze the ball, and then exhale, roll in, knees towards your chest. Inhale, roll out. Exhale, squeeze the ball and roll in, knees towards your chest. Now this is a great version of it to do. If you want a much more challenging version, then instead of rolling, you're going to lift and pull. So if you'd like to do that with me, inhale, squeeze the ball, lift. Exhale, pull, knees towards your chest. Inhale, extend out. Don't lock your knees. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, big exhale. Keep your chest open so it's pulling towards the ceiling. Shoulders down. Couple more. Last 2 if possible. We'll take a break and then try one final set. Nicely done. Extend your legs out, flex your toes, stretch forward. Inhale through your nose. Long, slow exhale through your nose or your mouth. One more breath here. Roll back up. One final set of these inner thigh crunches. Again, your feet come to a 3 and 9 o'clock position. As you squeeze the ball, that fires up your inner thighs. You can decide if you're going to roll or, for a bigger challenge, lift and pull. Either way, take an inhale to prep. Exhale, come in. Inhale out. Exhale, knees towards your chest. As your knees come in, belly button pulls closer to your spine. Do what you can. Take a break whenever you need it. Big challenge. We're going to try a total of 12, which means you've got 4 left if possible. 3, chest is open towards the ceiling. Nice. Last 2. And last 1. Awesome job. We're going to finish up with an awesome stretch here. So we'll start in the same position we were just in. Legs are wide, toes flexed. But now we're going to add a little side stretching and movement. So take an inhale to prep. Exhale, roll the ball towards your right foot. Inhale, hold for a long, slow inhale. And then exhale, roll the ball to the other side. Inhale, hold. Exhale, roll. Both hips stay on the ground. Belly button stays pulling back. Your gaze is down at the floor just to help protect your neck. No need to get that part of your body all worked up here. Now the next time the ball is at your right foot, just hang out there for a couple breaths. So instead of rolling on your exhale, hold on your exhale. Allow your face to relax. One more inhale here. Exhale, roll the ball to your left foot. Hold for a few breaths. Very nice. Last inhale. Exhale, roll to the center. Head is heavy. Deep breath. Then use your next inhale to roll up slowly. Really nice job with that one.